Hello, hello, hello. Today is November 22nd, 2019. I am Silver Hypnosis, and I kind of felt like I needed to do a new update. I haven't done an update in months. It doesn't feel like months. It feels like years, but I just kept saying, yeah, I'll do an update video eventually, and I just never got around to it. So yeah, I'm doing an update video first. Thank you all for the subscriptions. Thank you all for supporting me on Patreon, because without you guys, I could not do this for a living. Um, Thank you all to those of you who buy my files. Thank you all for those who support me. Really, I cannot do this without you. That said, lots of business to talk about, so we'll just kind of go through it. First and foremost, so yeah, I don't know why YouTube, for whatever reason, decided that my trailer videos counted as spam or deceitful practices, because I thought I labeled everything about them as previews. But apparently YouTube's automated system didn't like that. And I think what was happening, and I think what's happened, I think what was happening was that people were getting mad and reporting those videos as being spam, and YouTube's automated systems do not like distinguish between real spam and bad faith spam, so the automated systems just take the videos down, and you're only like, it pops up, YouTube's like, hey, you have 300 characters, so basically in a tweet, tell us why this doesn't violate all of these things that are vague. We're not going to tell you what you violated, or what part you violated, or how it was violated, but you did one of these things, so in 300 characters, tell us why you don't think this is the case, which is basically impossible, because you don't know what you've done wrong, supposedly. It just says, you've violated one of these spam or deceitful practices, and it's like 8 things, and it's like, I don't know which one of those you claim I violated, but whatever you say, YouTube bot. So, yeah, honestly, ever since then, I've been kind of worried, because, I mean, it was a very good way of getting my content on, or getting people to see that I made other content that wasn't on YouTube. And so now that I can't do that, YouTube content is kind of harder, because it doesn't get enough people to support my content in other ways so that I can keep doing it. Because YouTube is YouTube, and YouTube can be the worst sometimes. So I've been kind of thinking about where else I want to like put my content overall, and I really don't know where I would, except for like Pornhub, and I really don't want to do that. Like, I really don't want to do that, even though I know there are hypnotists that do. I just don't think that's a good place to put content, honestly. Although, I guess I could, but still. I suppose part of the problem is that I'm very suspicious, I guess the right word, of anywhere that I'm going to put stuff, because my nature is to always read the fine print. I'm not giving my content to anyone that's going to it's going to own any part of it, because I want to retain sole ownership rights over what I make. And for some places that's a deal breaker. So, but I would rather break the deal than give up content rights. That's just how I feel. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, so there's that whole COPPA thing, or whatever it's called, or COPPA, or whatever it's called. I don't know how to pronounce it. I thought it was COPPA, because it's COPPA. And basically, it doesn't actually change very much for YouTubers themselves. It changes a whole lot for YouTube as a platform, because YouTube was breaking the law, and knowingly breaking the law, because it was gathering data on children and directing advertisements to children, because it's against the law. Like, COPPA as an act was signed into law in the year 1999. It's not a new law, or by any means. It's just now being enforced, because it turns out YouTube was just blatantly lying about what it was doing. And so as an individual, it doesn't really affect me a whole lot, but it does prove, because again, like, think about it, the FTC is not going to be targeting individuals like me, for the same reason that the IRS isn't going to target you if you embellish $100 on your taxes. because they're going to weigh it based around how much is it going to cost them to litigate you versus how much is it going to cost if they just let it go. If you cheat on your taxes by $100, they're not going to care. If you cheat on your taxes by $10,000, they're going to care. They're going to care a lot. And it's kind of the same way with this COPPA thing and the FTC. It's like, is the FTC really going to spend man hours and company hours to litigate in court whether or not someone like me is violating the acts unknowingly? No. Are they going to do that for somebody who has like 1 million subscribers and makes content specifically for children? Absolutely. If they're breaking the law. But again, it's more a YouTube thing, which is why they went after YouTube as a company and not a channel that happens to be on YouTube. So it really doesn't necessarily affect me, but it's another reminder that what I do and YouTube as a whole is kind of a bubble, in the sense that we're sort of entering the same type of period that you would in really any development, where there's a huge gold rush, and then there's a bunch of people who make money, and then everybody basically gets out of it. So, example, all the big YouTubers and stuff that have made money on YouTube are looking into other products. They make movies, they make, get into television, they do other things because they understand that it doesn't last forever. Bubbles don't last forever. And so there's a point where you stop getting the growth, and you start hitting there's only so much that people are interested in seeing. And so me being aware of that, I'm sort of looking at the same time how I can promote my content in other areas, among other things, on other platforms, and sort of continue doing it because I want to continue doing it. I enjoy doing it. And I want to make sure that I can continue doing it. But part of that is understanding that YouTube as a platform may not always be viable in the long-term future. I don't imagine myself doing this in 10 years because I don't imagine YouTube's going to be around in 10 years in the same capacity that it is or has been in the last 10. Nothing lasts forever. I mean, yeah, in 1999, I'm sure, everyone was like, oh yeah, AOL is going to be around as an internet provider or as an internet browser in 10 years. And then, 2009 came around and that was not the case. So you just have to be cognizant of these things. And me as an individual, I do want to keep making content, and I'm going to keep making content, and I'm hoping to make more content more often. I've sort of made more content, paid and otherwise, that you don't see on YouTube, that you can get on my Patreon, which you should totally support, by the way. Just have a little plug in there. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I've been making more content this month, and I hope to keep that pace of making more content. Part of it's just that I'm a perfectionist, and so I kind of get really bogged down in making, because I want everything I make to be perfect, and that really hurts my output because I get really frustrated when it's not perfect, even though I don't know what it would look like if it was perfect. So, that can be an issue. But again, I'm sort of chasing the bubble almost, and I really want to continue my output because it's not like this opportunity is not going to last forever. So yeah, I just kind of want to update on that. Also, funny story. So one of my older videos, my really old videos, which I believe is my Mute Your Voice Hypnosis. It was a really old video. I made it 4 years ago. And it was made back when I had my old mic. Where I didn't even have a mic back then. I didn't have like an external mic. I was recording on a laptop on the onboard mic or whatever it is, like the integrated mic on a laptop back then. And yeah, that was 4 years ago. And so the audio quality is awful and everything else. But the only reason I bring it up is because it's only got a huge amount of views. And the reason is because somebody watched Ninja's video about his Mute Your Voice Hypnosis or whatever, or Lose Your Voice Hypnosis, on TikTok or whatever that is. Like, it's the successor to Vine, only it's owned by Chinese spyware companies, essentially. And Yeah, so like a bunch of people all of a sudden started flooding that, and I was like, where are these people coming from? Did somebody do a video? What happened? And I found out, no, it wasn't even my video. It was his video, and what happened is that when you search it up, when you search up like "lose my voice" hypnosis, mine is like the third one, like my video from 4 years ago. That's awful, and I honestly like dislike my content from then because I was very much inexperienced compared to now. The quality is way worse. It makes me kind of cringe when I think about like what I was willing to do. But but yeah, it's like it got suddenly got huge amounts of views by random people, and I'm like, what is happening? And I had to play detective. So if you're here from that and you decide to look at my other better content that's newer, hello, thank you for showing up. Hope you enjoy it. Um, I would not listen to my content from 4 years ago. But the other thing about it is it reminded me that YouTube's really bad about promoting new content. It promotes the content that has the most amount of interactions, which is usually the oldest content. Unless you're like a brand new YouTuber, all of your content is going to be accumulated hits and things from years and years and years. And so when people search things, the first things they get are going to be things from 4 years ago and not the content that you actually want to show them, that you actually like the stuff you're doing now that you actually enjoy and want to be like, hey, this is the stuff I'm doing now and I'm not using an onboard mic and there's actual audio quality and things like that. Uh, and so, yeah, it's just kind of a reminder that YouTube's kind of awful in that regard. Um, and it's kind of hard to make content on YouTube because of that, because everything I produce that's new is basically assuming that you're going to see it in your subscriber feed, and nobody knows if you're going to see that because it's all based on algorithms and nothing's explained to anyone. So it's just kind of like, well, I hope people see my content, and maybe they will, but you never know if they're going to or not. So for those of you who support my Patreon, and that means I can like have a somewhat consistent income that I can rely upon, thank you for that. Thank you a whole lot, and I hope you will continue to do so. Um, in the meantime, I'm going to keep making content. I think I produced something today, actually. Um, so I'm going to keep making content. I'm going to keep producing content. And hopefully everything works out well. But I'm kind of looking towards the future, and I'm kind of going, okay, where else can I put my content? And, what would is there still a way to continue making content or expand my reach with my content that I am not currently doing? So yeah, that's just what's on my mind. Anyway, this has gone on long enough, so I'm going to end it here, and hopefully you guys will continue to stick around and continue to enjoy my content. Thank you if you're doing that right now. You guys are the reason I continue doing this, and you guys are the reason that I have been able to do it for so long. So thank you all, and hope you all have a good day. See you later.